This video is my top 50 unslabbed comics for the year of 2017. This is part 1. Want to know what's in here? Well, you'll just have to stick around and find out. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the comic book community. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And as promised, I am going to be showing you the top 50 purchases that are unslabbed books that I made in the year 2017. I already did the top 15 slabbed books just the other day, so if you haven't checked that out, please do. It is in my playlist, and I hope you enjoy. This will be a two-parter because there's a lot of comic books, and I want to make sure the video isn't too long. So this will be issues 50 through 26, and then the second video will show my top 25 of this year. And I have to say, this was probably the best year for me personally of being able to get amazing comics since I first started collecting back in the 80s. And considering some of the key issues I had, which were stolen, that's saying a lot. So I don't want to wait too long, but before I start, just make sure you wait until the end to see who gets the surprise subscriber shout-out. If you want to be a person that gets a shout-out, just be subscribed. And if you comment, let me know if you want one, and I'll be more than happy to give you one. So with that being said, let's get this party started. And we are going to start out with issue number 50, which is Tales of Suspense, issue number 48. And this is the new armor for Iron Man, because he started out with gray armor, then he had the gold armor, and this is pretty much the type of armor you see to this day with enhancements here and there. So this one I got during the Super Bowl, and I always tell people, if you want to get specials and get special deals on comics, do late at night, do holidays, and do special events, because most people are not paying attention. So I won this on the Super Bowl. Really beautiful cover. A lot of colors. Could use a pressing and a dry cleaning because it looks a little dirty. But with shipping and handling, I only paid $66.41 for this book. So absolutely great deal for that price. Okay, next up, number 49. I have several copies of this, but this is one of them that I added, and this is Submariner issue number 1. This one's in really good condition. This is a book I highly recommend that people get, because especially with Disney buying Fox, I know there's a little bit of an interesting scenario about who owns the Submariner, but I just feel like it's one of those sleeper comics that eventually Marvel will get back, or they could do a situation like Spider-Man or the Hulk and just add them to a movie. And if he ends up in a Fantastic Four movie, this book is going to skyrocket. So you can get this book in mid to lower grade for under $100. So if you could get this book, I highly recommend it. And I have 3 copies. This one's in pretty good condition. I would say probably a 6.0. And the colors actually stand out. Only paid $80.50. So this is definitely a book that you can grab and still be affordable. All right, number 48. This is a recent purchase I made about a month ago, and this is Hawkman issue number 1. I have 2 copies of this. I was lucky enough to get 2 of them. And number 1 issue, I mean, Hawkman, you know, love him or hate him, it's still good to have these characters before they end up in a movie. Doesn't guarantee it will, but if you find out that there is a movie that they're appearing in or a TV show, you know these books are going to quadruple in price or at least double. So the idea is to kind of get them before that happens. So it's worth taking the chance on. And again, this could be pretty affordable. I only spent $69.99 for this book, and the other one, I think I spent under $50. So deals can be made. All right, this one, unfortunately, I forgot to write the price down, so forgive me about this. But this is one of my books that got stolen. I have several copies of this. I showed in the top 15, I have a graded version of this. And, of course, this is Conan issue number 1, which is the first appearance of Conan and the first appearance of King Kull in a cameo. This one is signed by Stan Lee. But this was signed back in the days when people really weren't into the signatures as they are today. This was signed in pen in the first page of the book. And back in the days in the 80s when I had the older generation of artists sign books like John Romita Sr., they would open the book and sign it on the first page. So it's not on the cover, but I saw the signature, and it definitely is verified. I believe I spent about $125, which is not bad, especially for a Stan Lee signature. But this was definitely signed back in the late 70s, early 80s. So apologize for not having the price, but I think, like I said, between 100 and 125. All right, next up, number 46, we have Journey into Mystery 86. Now, this one's a little confusing because 85, they say, is the cameo appearance of Odin. So this should be his first full appearance, but they don't say that when the grading companies grade this. So I'd be curious to see what they think about this. But even still, I mean, it's the third appearance of Thor because he starts out in issue 83, so a very early age Thor, and in very good condition. So for the price I paid, you know, it was definitely worth taking a chance on, even if it is not the first full appearance of Odin. But I only paid $121.99. And that's actually, I'm sorry, the fourth appearance of Thor, not the third. Even still, early appearances, because I can, as of now, afford the first appearance. All right, next up we have number 45. And that is another book of mine that got stolen. This is Tales of Suspense, issue number 40, which is the second appearance of Iron Man and the first appearance of his golden armor. Believe me when I say the book that I had that got stolen puts this one to shame. It would have easily been a 9.0 to maybe a 9.2. And back in the days, I probably spent about $50 for that book at most. But we can't go by what was, we have to go by what is. And I paid a total of $207.09 for this. So still not bad. And there is writing on the first page. Somebody scribbled their name. But still, considering the grade, this is probably about a 4.5 to a 5.0 range, because you could see somebody drew in there. But still, for that price, still worth it. All right. You will see a trend in this video and the next. A lot of Amazing Spider-Mans were acquired this year, and I absolutely love Amazing Spider-Man. And this is for number 45, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 7, which is the second appearance of the Vulture. And this is in really good condition. And let me move this in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. And the colors really pop out. The only major problem with this book is there's one page where it kind of ripped all the way to about here. So it's ripped from here to here on this one page, and it sticks out a little bit. But, I mean, other than that, the spine looks really great. I think if there wasn't a problem with this, this might be a 6.5 to a 7.0. But, of course, that will lower the grade. And it is, I think, 1, maybe 2 pages maximum. But for the price, again, always worth the deals. I only paid $170.85. So definitely a good price on that book. All right, number 43. This is one of those books, of course, people are speculating because of the next X-Men movie that's coming out. We'll be focusing on the Phoenix, and this is X-Men issue number 101, which is the first appearance. Mid-grade book. You could see it's got a little bit of a spine roll. Maybe you can't see that, but it does have some ticks along the spine that do break color. So probably a 5.0, couple of little ticks there that break color there. But the colors really pop out, and to me, that's the most important part. I only paid $81.64. So that book's been going way over $100 for a mid-grade. So that's another book that I would recommend getting while you can. All right, 42. Speaking of Amazing Spider-Man, I have a graded copy 6.0 that I got a couple years ago. This one I just happened to buy because, I mean, any of the, especially top 10, if I could find a good deal on it, I'm going to pick them up time and time again. But this is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 6, which is the first appearance of the Lizard. Absolutely love this cover, love that character, another great iconic Spider-Man villain. Not in the best shape, you could see there's definitely a spine roll, so pressing and dry cleaning would help this. There's some breakage of colors, you could see some splits along the spine. So this is probably a 3.0 grade, but again, still, the cover presents very well. And when you get in the first top 10, I mean, there's so many great villains in the top 10 of Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, you almost can't go wrong with any of them. But again, it all has to do with price. The centerfold is detached on this, but I only paid $111.89. So, I mean, especially if you get this graded, you're never going to see the centerfold. So to me, things like that don't really matter. All right, next up we have 41. This is one of the modern books I have. Now, I have the complete run of this, but I found this for such a decent price, I thought I would pick up a second copy. And this is Walking Dead issue number 19, which is the first appearance of Michonne. This is probably a 6.5 to a 6.0, because whoever had this didn't take care of it. There's several spine ticks, and especially with a newer book, that is absolutely going to affect the grade. But for the price I paid, I mean, this book is about a $400 or $500 book in higher grade. I only paid $100. So for the first appearance of Michonne, who is still in the TV show, not bad for $100. And of course, again, including shipping and handling. Next up, we have issue number 40. These were books I got, and it shows that when you have eBay sellers, sometimes they just want to get rid of comics. Sometimes they don't know what they're selling. Sometimes maybe somebody's wife is saying, get rid of this stuff, it's taking up space. Who knows the reasons why they sell? But when you see a Best Buy and it says make an offer, make a low offer, because the worst they can do is can't say no. But you never know, because sometimes people will accept them. This book was, I remember, listed at $300. I did an $80 bid, an offer, and they accepted it. And there's a few comics that they accepted this with. So this is for number 40, Fantastic Four, issue number 6. Now this is the second appearance of Doctor Doom, second Silver Age appearance of Submariner, second appearance of Silver Age Submariner, and the first Marvel villain team-up. So this is a very important book. Now, obviously, this isn't a 9.0, because you could see right here, there's a little bit of a tear. It kind of flipped down a little bit. There's some damage along the spine. The person mailed these to me without bag and boards. So the person who was selling these obviously didn't know what they were doing, or just didn't care. But there's a little color break here. It looks like there's a little minor tear along here. A pressing would help, because it's got some little ripples here. I guess there might have been some water damage, because obviously, like I said, these books were not stored in bag and boards. But still, $80 for this book, that is a steal for me. And I've seen that book getting higher and higher, and especially if you see Doctor Doom in a Marvel movie, which probably be 3-4 years down the line, those books are going to get even higher. So you're going to see a theme with that as well. All right, number 39. This is kind of a controversial one because, well, I'll explain when I show it. But this is The Good Morty. Now, this is the genuine one because it has the one staple. I did a lot of research on this book, and I actually have 2 videos that teach you how you could spot the differences. And they are slight, so if you don't know what you're looking for, you can easily be fooled. But I purchased either 5 or 6 of these, and of these 6, 5 of them were fake. The good thing about eBay is you get a money-back guarantee, so I got my money back. So this was the only one that was a genuine one. So check out the video. All you have to do is go on my playlist, and you'll see, comic tips and advice, things like that. You'll find it. But this is the actual first appearance of Rick and Morty. It's a small little book that came with a original Season 1 DVD and Blu-ray. And this also came with it, and they sent that with it as well. But to me, that really isn't worth as much. It's this part right here. And I paid a total of $124 for this book. You will see this on eBay for about $30 or $40. Those are the 2 stapled fake ones. Be very careful, because unfortunately there's a lot of dishonest people out there. All right, next I showed the past couple of weeks. This is number 38. And this is Captain Britain, issue number 8, which is the first appearance of Psylocke, which is Betsy Braddock, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is a weird one, because if you look at the back of this book, it looks like there isn't a back, because it doesn't have the typical comic where it's kind of shiny and a different paper on the cover. The paper on the back is the same as the paper inside, so it looks a little weird, but that is the way it's supposed to be. And this is in pretty good condition. There's a minor spinal break, a little color break right there, not a big deal. A little bit here, and 1 or 2 hairline. I mean, you're talking 1/8 of an inch at best. And 1 little piece right here. Or is that the drawing? No, I'm not sure. But overall, I mean, the colors pop looks really good. I'd probably say this is an 8.5, maybe a 9.0. But again, for the price I paid for this, keep looking for deals. I paid $98.89. So really good deal for that particular book. Okay, next up we have number 37, which is another book I showed recently. Took a long time for me to find this book. And that is Marvel Preview issue number 7, which is the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon. And let me tell you, I've wanted this book ever since the Guardians of the Galaxy movies came out, and these got so expensive so quickly, I had to pass on several of these. Now, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 spine ticks that break color. Not major, probably 1/4 of an inch at best. But overall, the colors on this are absolutely beautiful. When I got this, it looks so much nicer than the actual pictures in the auction that I was really impressed by this. And this is one of those cases, and I say this all the time, there are plenty of people that want a specific book. Like I said, I wanted this book for a long time. Don't just buy the first one that you see, because you'll probably spend maybe even up to double of what you could if you wait. Sometimes you're going to wait months, sometimes you may wait a year or two, but if you wait, you'll get the comic that you're really the happiest about, and you didn't just settle. It's like getting a tattoo for the first time. If you only have $40 to spend, you don't want to get some little rinky-dink tattoo that is going to be permanent for the rest of your life and say, wow, why did I do this 15 years later? Wait until you can afford and get the right thing. So be patient. Pass up opportunities if you think it's too expensive or the conditions not to your satisfaction, and eventually you will get the comics that you want. So you have to have patience. All right, next up, I absolutely love this one. This is number 36. I wish it was the first print, but it is the next best thing. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. This is the second print. Very hard to get this book, because if you look online, most of the people are selling the 3rd, 4th, and even 5th prints, and those sell for hundreds of dollars. So this is another one of those late night steals. So if you could stay up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, you'd be surprised at some of the bids that just don't happen because no one's up. So there is some color breaks here. So this is probably an 8.0 to an 8.5. But here's the best part. It was signed and a little sketch by Kevin Eastman. So, I mean, you're talking the first print is about $4,000. That's a little bit out of my range, unfortunately. I mean, I'm sure if I saved up, I could, but, I mean, if I was going to have $4,000 to spend on a comic, as much as I love this, I would probably get something from Marvel Early Silver Age. But still, can't complain. I only spent $275. You cannot get an unsigned 3rd print for that price. So again, it's all about timing, and it's all about patience. So I hope I can instill that to people and inspire people that it is possible, because trust me when I say I'm no millionaire, so I try and get what I can afford. All right, so next up we have issue number 35. I got 2 of these this year, but I'm only going to show one of them, so this way it's not cluttering the whole entire video. But this is Amazing Spider-Man number 15, Kraven the Hunter, which I did a video just the other day naming your top Spider-Man villains. And people like Moon Knight Madness, and shout out to Moon Knight Madness, it was saying, what about Kraven the Hunter? And I know somebody else said it, and I forget their name. I think it's Mr. E, so correct me if I'm wrong. Shout out to you anyway. They listed Kraven the Hunter, and they say he doesn't get as much love. But hey, if you like him, that's the best part. But this is his first appearance. Again, mid-grade book. You could see there's some color breaks. Right along here, they break color, but staples are intact. It's nice and flat. And to me, the most important part is the color. If I have any kind of pet peeve, I really don't like the really faded comics. I've seen some that are like a Giant Size X-Men that graded a 5.0, but it looks like it was in the sunlight for about 6 years and the colors fade. I like the bright colors. It just makes it look that much more beautiful. So I can tolerate some of the spinal breaks in a spine roll as long as the colors really pop out. So, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was so blurry. So, you're not going blind. That was the stupid camera. So, hopefully that didn't happen for a long time. But this, again, I bought 2 of these. I won 2 of them. I paid $190. Now, this one, the bottom staple of the centerfold is detached. So it's still connected. The staples are still connected to the cover. Just the bottom staple, the centerfold, I can live with that. This is a $300-400 book, so definitely worth getting. All right, next one. This is one that's got a special situation with it. I have a couple of these. This is Shazam, issue number 28, which is the first Bronze Age appearance of Black Adam and the second appearance overall since the Golden Age. He only had one appearance ever, and that was in the Marvel Family issue number 1. Good luck getting that one for under a couple of $1,000, even in low grade. So this is the next best thing, and if you know, The Rock is supposedly playing Black Adam, but we don't know because it hasn't been confirmed yet, and with the DC movies lately, they might be changing things, but it's worth speculating on beforehand. I got these years ago, but this one, I had 2 others, but I got this one recently. Now this one has a special situation. It has a Mark Jewelers insert, so it is not like the typical comic book that you would get. I paid $134.15, which would be a good price for this book, because you could see it's in high grade. This is probably an 8.5 to a 9.0. Little break here, little rounded edge there, little minor color break there. But overall still looks really good. But the Mark Jewelers insert meant that these went to military bases. And inside there's a special insert that was not in all the comics, just the ones that went to military bases. So this is a rarer version of this comic, and definitely worth it if you can get it. There's a couple of comics out there that have that, so if you ever see the Mark Jewelers insert, you'll now know why. All right, next up, number 33. This one I absolutely love. Another one that I passed up on several opportunities because this is a very expensive book. And this is Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 1, which is the first appearance of Sinister Six. And I really hope that they do the Sinister Six in a Spider-Man movie. It may take a little while, but hey, considering how many great movies Marvel's putting out, I can wait. And it's got, as you can see, Sandman, Dr. Octopus, Kraven the Hunter, Vulture, and Electro. And not in the greatest condition. It's definitely dirty, but a dry cleaning can fix that. It's got a little piece missing here. There's some dog ears. Dog ears means it kind of folds over a little bit, but there's a lot of color breaks along here. But considering it's a thick book, it's very solid, but there's a spinal tear here, and there's a little bit of a tear here. The rest of it's still connected. So it's a lower grade. This is probably a 2.5, maybe a 3.0 at best. But again, it all goes by the price I'm willing to pay for even a lower grade. I paid $60, and I can't see the change, so $60 and change. So not bad at all for this, because lower grades tend to go over $100. Next up, I have several of these, so I added another one. This is another one of those books. If I see it for a decent price, I'm going to get it every time. And this is Captain America issue number 100. This is Captain America's first solo comic. It originally was Tales of Suspense up until issue 99, where he played part of it with Iron Man, and then he got his own solo series. It's just a weird part because Captain America continued with issue number 100, and Iron Man started at issue number 1. So I guess you couldn't do it with both, but that's all right. This is definitely another one of those key issues. I have about 4 copies of this book, but again, paying the price that you want to pay, I paid $94 for this book. And that's one of the higher prices I paid. So sometimes it's about timing. All right, only a couple left. We have number 31, which is another Amazing Spider-Man book. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of Amazing Spider-Man, especially in the second part of this video, which will be coming out most likely tomorrow. But this is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 20, first appearance of Scorpion. It's another one of my Amazing Spider-Man favorite villains. Absolutely love this character. They did show him a little bit in the Amazing Spider-Man movie from Marvel. Where they go with it, I guess we'll have to see in the next video, the next movie or two. I hope they do him justice, because if they could make the Vulture look cool, they could definitely do something with the Scorpion, and I think he's due. So I got 2 of these. But again, I'm only going to show one of them. The other one had like a plus sign here somebody drew on, so this is the better condition one. This is probably a 5.0 because of the fact it's missing a little bit here. There's a color break there. But overall, lies flat. Again, colors look great. I only paid $114.95 for this book. So for the first Scorpion, great book to have. All right, let's get into a Golden Age book. This is one of those steals that I got. This is Green Lantern issue number 11. This is one of those that I didn't know I wanted it until I saw it. If you want to know how I win on eBay, I actually have a video that gives you tips on how you could win like me. So if you think I get a lot of deals and you want to learn how to do it, check out those videos. And 99% of the time when I'm on eBay, I'm going to ending soonest, and I just wait to see the last 5 minutes to the last minute on an auction and then bid on it. And this one just happened to be there with like 30 seconds left. I just happened to stumble across it. And I was like, wow, for the price that it's at, let me make a bid on this. This is an early Golden Age book. Absolutely love this. It's got some color. You can see along the bottom. It's got some color breaks. You can see there's a little bit of a tear here. It's missing the corner there, a little piece there along the top. So, I mean, they're a little bit more lenient when it comes to Golden Age books because, I mean, you're talking books over 70 years old. But again, cover really presents well. The colors really stand out for a book from the 1940s. This came out in 1944, and I won it for $242.50. So there's nothing majorly significant about this book, but I really think that DC might be doing a Green Lantern movie again, and that could really shoot this up. So, speculation, but it's one of those things, if you don't own a Golden Age book, you got to get one, because there's just something about them. It's that nostalgia. It just makes you get hooked on them. All right, so there's 4 left, I'm sorry. So this is the next one, number 29. Again, I have several copies of this book, but anytime I can find it for a decent price, I will get it. This is Iron Fist issue number 14, which is one of my favorite villains of all time, Sabretooth. Absolutely love that character. They need to put him in another X-Men movie or another Wolverine solo film because it's just a great character, and he matches really well with Wolverine if they do him right. This is probably a 7.0. It's a little bit on the dirtier side, so a dry cleaning will fix that. But as you can see, there's a minor color break here and here. But other than that, this presents pretty well. So I would probably say this is about a 7.5 grade. And another book, get it while you can, because it's reasonable, because I only paid $130.50 for that book. So not bad for that book. All right, next up is another one of those books that I was talking about earlier with the Fantastic Four and that one particular comic seller. This one they had listed for $300. This is Fantastic Four issue number 13. Now, that is the first appearance of the Watchers. Now, again, this was sent to me without a bag and board and probably was stored without a bag and board. It does have some ripples like the other one. So a pressing and dry cleaning would absolutely fix that. There's some tearing parts here. There's parts missing here. The top, you can see, is jaggedy, but the staples are intact. I checked the insides of these books. So I would probably say this is a 3.5 to a 4.0. Still a great deal. And again, they had it listed for $300. I put in an offer of $100, and they accepted it. So $100 for this book is not bad at all for the first Watchers, especially when they confirmed that Stan Lee's character in all of the movies, his little cameos, they said that he is the Watcher. And I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, 2 left. Next one, again, I have several copies, and it's one of those books I will get all the time when I can find it. That is Silver Surfer issue number 1. This one, especially for a thicker book, it's not flat. You'll see a lot of them where you can't see the words when you put it on the side because they kind of scrunch up. Because again, if people put these in comic book boxes where there's too many comics, it eventually smushes this and it kind of leans to the side. So that will keep this a higher grade. It does have a date stamp. Somebody priced it at 15 cents, so you could tell that the price actually went down at one point because back in the 70s, Silver Surfer wasn't as popular as he is today, and the comic actually didn't last very long. But luckily they did him justice over the years and his popularity grew. But again, the cover presents really well. There's a color break here, and you can see part of the M actually right here is lost color. So, not in the greatest condition, but considering it's a Golden Age book, I can't complain. And sorry if there's a little bit of mess up the the phone only does a certain amount of time before it shuts off, so I apologize for that. But again, it's one of those books I didn't think I was going to get. I grabbed it. Staples are intact. And only paid... Oh, I'm sorry. The top staple is detached from the cover. But still, not bad because it means the bottom is still attached. So it's hanging on there. But only paid $114.24 for that book. So for a Golden Age book from the early 40s, again, can't complain about that. And it's a well-known character, and they actually did a pretty decent job with him in the Justice League, and I hope he does either get another chance or a solo movie. I mean, we'll see. I don't watch the TV show, but I heard it does very well. So they keep doing him justice, it'll just keep raising the value. So those are my top 50, but the first half. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know how many fingers I'm holding up, and add those together. Actually, I just confused people. Let's try it again. Instead of that, you can correct it. How many fingers am I holding up? We'll do it that way. So you can place that in there. Give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. Please, if you can, share it to other people in the comic book community. The more people we get here, the more enjoyable it is for everybody. I want people to join. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Just don't hit the person next to you. And make sure you stay tuned for the next part where all of my major keys are on their way. And I can't wait to show you. So the top 25 will be tomorrow. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit the like button, share button, subscribe button. Just don't hit your belly button, because that's kind of weird. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. And don't forget to wait until the end to see who's the surprise subscriber shout-out. And we all know this character is a pervert, because he likes to flash. Ah.